Kenyans are still very shocked at the pace and the rate at which the ODM is pampering William Ruto and the manner in which they are protecting William Ruto in the midst of all the bad things that the UDA government is doing. After the ODM got into this government, they have really changed like what is really happening to our beloved party. You know, truth be told, ODM has always been the party of the people, and to some people it still remains a strong party. It has been the party that used to speak for the downtrodden and the weak. And I understand that Raila has really tried. We cannot take that away from him. Raila has been detained, Raila has been beaten, Raila has been tear gassed, you name it. But then it seems like all the gains are going down the drain. There isn't anyone in this country that has been persecuted like Raila Odinga. Now, I have seen, like I've said before, I've seen ODM, keeping a blind eye and remaining deaf on the very atrocities that are being committed in the country. I waited for the ODM to talk about the kidnappings, and I don't know whether I missed it. Like I always say, no one has got the monopoly of knowledge. I was looking for the ODM just to speak about it because the fact that they have got some 5 people inside the government that have been given ministerial positions does not insulate them or their members, the common members of the ODM, from the sufferings of the society. When SHA is not working, it is not working for all of us, including the ODM fraternity. When people are being kidnapped, including their members, when the prices of basic commodities are skyrocketing, it affects all of them. And so I expected them to remain steadfast and even use their closeness to William Ruto to make sure that some of these things are corrected, because they can do it. Now, people have been complaining about Adani. And at some point before Raila got to power, or before Raila, talked about it, Adani was very bad. And Nelson Amenya, the whistleblower, was a hero, but has been turned into a villain. Today I listened to Junet Mohammed, who is now the minority leader, telling William Ruto, hatutabembeleza watu, we are not going to beg people or to massage people, we have to do our things. And he's telling William Ruto, do your things. Those who are complaining about Adani do not have any alternatives. You go ahead and do your things. I want you to listen to Junet, and you realize that this is how impunity is being bred. Sometimes when people are in power, they forget so fast. Listen to Junet.
Hii mambo ya kuomba ruhusa kwa kila mtu lazima ikwishe. Na mimi nimeongea kama mkubwa wa upinzani. Kwa sababu serikali haiwezi kuomba ruhusa mahakama ili wajenge stima, waombe kanisa ili wajenge stima, waombe civil society ili waombe stima. Juzi muliona wale wako Nairobi. Airport yetu iko mbaya sana. Imeharibika. Waekelezaji wametoka nje kuja kusaidia sisi kujenga hiyo airport. Rais akasema kama wananchi wamekataa, tumewacha. Sasa wale walikuwa wanapiga kelele, wapi maoni yenu, ambaye kwa sababu airport lazima itengenezwe. Inchi hapa jirani yenu Tanzania wanafanya ni hiyo mwekelezaji kwa hiyo airport yao. Hawa ni wazimu. Tanzania ni wazimu. Kichwa imeruka hawa. Sasa lazima tutafute njia ya kusaidiana.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that kind of attitude, with that kind of power, the protection, defensive mechanism from the ODM. What can deter Ruto from just waking up and people are being kidnapped and people are detained? Because when you listen to Junaid Mohammed, he is reading from Ruto's script. Do you remember when the Law Society of Kenya and Kenya Human Rights Commission went to court against Ruto about the housing levy? They also went about the transition from SHIF to SHA. Do you remember what William Ruto was saying? William Ruto was saying that some people are deliberately trying to block him and sabotage his agenda. And that is when he concluded that he was not going to obey court orders. Because he was saying that he cannot be sabotaged, that anytime he wants to do something, he has to ask people. And when you listen to such kind of attitude, those are the people who believe that things must be done despite public participation. Or rather, when public participation is conducted, it doesn't matter. It is a mere formality. In other words, sometimes people get to a level where they have to decide for you. Kenya is theirs. Wao ni wenye nchi na sisi ni wananchi. And if you want to know why maybe Junet is talking this way and you want to know the position of the ODM, they have declared before that this government that they used to criticize so much was only bad because they didn't have their members inside it. Notwithstanding the fact that they had complained that their victory was stolen, notwithstanding that they had complained that their people were killed on the streets. They are saying now that they have some people inside the government is so sweet. This government all of a sudden is the best government. It didn't rig their election. Their victory was never taken away. They were never killed on the streets. They have rubbed everything and they have baptized William Ruto. They have sanitized him. They are saying this is the government ever. Why? Because the government is only bad when your people are not inside.
The second thing which I want to say now in English is that the government is only bad if you are not part of it. If you are outside, you don't have anybody who is representing your interest in that government does not talk to you, that government is bad. But the moment that government has your people inside, the way Mbadi is inside and Raymond Omolo and my brother Pio and I, the government cannot be bad. The government now is good. Now the government is good. That is the message. Because the government now is good, and we want to say that we are committing to support our people in government. Our people in cabinet, we are going to rally behind you because we want you to deliver the way Baba said that he has sent experts into the executive. We want to give you the support so that you can show what expert leadership can produce. And I trust the leadership of Raila Amolo Odinga and his wisdom for allowing our two brothers, John Mbadi and Opiyo Wandayi, to join cabinet. We are going to rally behind them.
You know, you've seen Raila says that they will even fill a presidential candidate in 2027. I don't think so. The kind of support that William Ruto is receiving from the ODM is a confused support. Because the last time I checked, Kenyans must be asked, because that is the nature of democracy, a government of the people, for the people, by the people. And let us not pretend. No one is saying that entirely Adani was such bad. The reason why people, decided to start scrutinizing Adani is the way we even learned about it. If you know that there is a deal that is clean and you're coming to the people of Kenya with clean hands, why do you hide it? Because the number one question would be, why was it kept as a secret until Amenya revealed this deal? If it is something that was clean, why would they conceal it from the people? And I remember sometimes Raila alluded to such facts that Adani could not be as bad, but the kind of deal that you sign with it, because as an investor, this is what will happen. they will come to you and you will agree that for us to expand our airport, we need maybe 10 billion. And then the government will tell them, we also want our cut, add another 10 billion, so that you say we will write a check of 20 billion. So this 10 billion will be divided among some few individuals. And that is why Adani becomes bad. They don't care. They will do their work, they will be paid, they will get that kickback. Kenya is undergoing very tough economic times. That's why people are complaining. And Adani has got a bad name. Was it in Sri Lanka where they had to cut the electricity because of unpaid dues? And then we hear that in New York they've been indicted because of corruption cases. The same thing, kickbacks. So Junet must not tell William Ruto that you should not care. You should not be asking people. They are breeding dictatorship. But let me tell you, the very prediction of James Orengo that regimes eat their own people. Today, ODM has forgotten they are in this very dictatorial government. It might backfire on them. One might even conclude that these people are in government and they are so blind that they have forgotten what they stood for. Or they are also part of the loot, because now they are not even begging. They are saying, you go for it. Atuta bembeleza watu, you know. So they are telling William Ruto that you can wake up today and you tell us that Arora and Kimoren will cost us 100 billion and that is what we are going to do. When some people go to court, you tell them atuta bembelezana, au ni watu ambao wanataka kusabotage our projects. Ladies and gentlemen, something is very wrong. And that's why I'm saying that Kenyans must now rise up on their own. Caleb Amisi said we cannot depend on Raila anymore because he has done enough. You know, Raila's age now, surely. You can't even subject Raila to too much tear gas, going to the streets and doing that. And then Raila, you know, when he sits back and he looks at how many times he has presented himself to the very people now complaining, they refuse to elect him. That's why he has nothing to lose and he has got no apologies. You know, if he had not presented himself to be elected, he would regret. But he has done it, but people don't want to elect him. As to the people who have stood with Raila, for them, they have every moral right to criticize Raila. But for those who want Raila to be a ladder, he presents himself to be elected, you don't want him. He goes to the streets because they want things to be done right. He's there to vandalize your property and to kill your businesses. He's quiet. You are asking, why is he now quiet? He wants to go to the AU. You don't want him to go. So, to me, those who did not vote, and it might not be palatable to you, but that is it. If you did not vote for Raila, if you did vote for Raila, forget it. But to the rest of the Kenyans who supported Raila, in one way or the other, I think expect more from him, because it seems like ODM is giving William Ruto some authority to do whatever he wants, regardless of the constitution. Kenyans are really shocked. I've seen the comments on people like, what is happening? You know, we should look at Kenya beyond Gachagua. You know, they now think that as long as Gachagua is being punished, that Kenyans are being punished. You see, Gachagua cannot be punished. Gachagua has got enough money. His family, the children and the grandchildren, are now in the class of they are not hustlers. So if you do things that you want to punish Gachagua, you are wrong. The people are suffering are the very people at the bottom. I don't know what you think, but to me, something is wrong.